What are flats and sharps? How on earth do you find them on the piano? And you might even be thinking, why do I need to know this? Well, in this video, I am sharing what sharps and flats are in music and how to find them on the piano. Be sure to stay to the end because I'm going to be sharing how we're using this info in the next video of our beginner series. I'm Rosemarie Penner from Must Love Music, and I help make learning piano simple, fun, and interactive with some creative ideas and resources to bring on those smiles. Now, as an online piano teacher, I have seen students look pretty confused when a note just doesn't sound right or even downright horrible. More often than not, the problem is a missing sharp or flat that they're not playing. And for something that is so close, well, it can make a truly horrendous noise when combined with chords and other notes. In previous videos, we have talked about up and down in terms of music. So let's do a very quick review. When we are going up, then we're going to the right of the piano. So when we're looking at our piano, we're going right. And going down, that is going left. When you're facing your piano, right means up, left means down. And this is really important, super important when we're talking about flats and sharps. In our how to create major and minor chords on the piano video, we talked about half steps and whole steps. Depending on which part of the world you're living in, it could be known as semitones and whole tones. So why am I bringing this up? Well, one, all of these beginner lessons are related to each other. We're building on what we're learning, but the other part of it is we're going to use half steps in order to find these flats and sharps. Let's start with flats. I want you to imagine a tire. This could be any tire. It could be a bicycle tire, motorcycle, car, you name it. Imagine that the tire goes flat. Which direction is it going? It's probably going down. On the piano, remember, this looks like we are moving left. We're going to take a look at what this looks like on the piano. Let's find D on the piano. So we're going to find our two black keys and we're going to play a D. In order to play a flat, a D flat, we're going to go down or left on the piano. Notice that we're just going one half step. We're not going down to the next white key. That's two half steps, but to the very, very next note. So from here, D, this is known as D flat. Let's try another note. Okay, so we're going to use our three black key group this time, and we're going to find G. In order to find G flat, we move down or left to the very, very next note. Now notice, it seems like we're going to these black keys all the time. And what I want us to do is, starting on that D, we're going to quickly run through these and you're going to notice something very quickly. So from D, D flat, go ahead and follow along with me. E, E flat, F. Now you might be tempted to go to this black key, but remember, we're going down half a step. That means it's the very, very next note. So F flat is actually also known as E. Let's keep going. There's one more example of this moving to a white key for a flat, but we've got G, G flat, A flat, B, B flat, I bet you can guess, C. Again, we're not going to jump to this black key because that's a half step plus a half step. We're going just one half step to the left, down. And so C flat, this is C flat, also known as B. Let me know in the comments which visual will remind you of where flats are on the piano. For example, does that tire analogy really work for you? For sharps, I want you to imagine that you have a chair that you're about to sit on. And what you don't realize is that some meanie pantsers has put a push pin on this. Now, what direction will you go if you sit on that push pin? I have a feeling you're probably going to jump up pretty quickly, right? Now, hopefully we don't have these meanie pantsers in our life, but it is a really good visual for remembering that if you sit on something sharp, you're probably going to go up. And that's what helps me remember sharps in music. So again, what does this look like? Well, when we're playing them, we're going to go up or to the right on the piano. All right, so let's find D again. We're going to use our 2 black keys. We found D, and we want to play a D sharp. So we are going to go up or to the right 1/2 step. So that is right here. This is D sharp on the piano. You're going to notice we can go through these a little faster once we figure out flats. Okay, so let's do a quick test because I bet you can guess that there is going to be some that we use a white key to show the sharp. So let's start with C this time. So C, C sharp, and go ahead and do this with me. D, D sharp, E. I bet you know what I'm going to say. We're not jumping to this black key, are we? No, we're just going up 1/2 step. So the very, very next note, this is E sharp, also known as F. Okay, so that's our first example of moving from a white key to a white key for a sharp. From F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B. Yeah, we found the other one. Going up 1/2 step, so to the very, very next note. So a B sharp, from B up. B sharp is also known as C. What do you think in terms of this idea of using a push pin analogy or an imagery? Is that going to help you remember that sharps go up the piano? So we've gone through what flats are. We're moving down the piano to the left. Sharps, we're moving up to the right. And what does this look like in music? Here's a great way of practicing it. I'd like you to make a mini song, so improvise. Remember, we've talked about improvisation. Doesn't have to be scary, doesn't have to be long, doesn't even have to sound brilliant. This is just a way of practicing. You're making something up on the spot. Go ahead and move in 1/2 steps and just change directions every once in a while. It'll make it sound more interesting. So here's an example. All I did was moved up and down, or to the right and to the left in various orders, just moving in 1/2 steps. Now, if this was notated, as in it was written out as sheet music, you would see that when I played this, there was a variety of sharps and flats written in the music. When we're playing it on the piano, and this is the part I want you to understand, is that they're just other notes. It's just another note that you can use to add interest into what you're playing. By the way, as you practice this, as you test it out, and by the way, feel free to pause the video to do that, think about what kind of style of music maybe does it remind you of. I would be interested to hear your answers because there is a particular genre, 2 genres that really, really use these 1/2 steps and these flats and sharps. Oh my goodness, in like such amazing ways. So we're looking at flats and sharps, what they are and how to find them on the piano. Flats go down or to the left a 1/2 step on the piano. Sharps go up or to the right on the piano. Again, that 1/2 step. So the very next note that's next to it. Now, if you haven't already, let me know in the comments, what imagery are you using to remember what a flat is and how it moves on the piano, and then also sharp and how that moves and what it sounds like. Now, how are we using flats and sharps in our next video? I did tell you I would let you know this, right? Well, we're looking at chords that start on black keys. I did mention this, I believe, in our previous video, and we needed to do some work with flats and sharps so that when I do that video next week, and you've practiced this, you know what flats and sharps are, then that's going to make a lot more sense. Thank you so much for watching. If this has been helpful, please consider hitting the subscribe button. What does this get you? Well, you'll get a notification letting you know when that next video is coming up. And considering the work that you did with those flats and sharps today, you don't want to miss that one.